Hi, and welcome to another Jane in the Jungle interview. Today I have two very interesting women for you, Eva and Elizabeth, who are the owners and operators of the Modern Primitive and My Cottage Foods and Pharmacy. And we're going to be talking about CBD primarily today and the health benefits of CBD, and also as two women partners who started a women-owned operated business. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about how they got started before they went from corporate America into being business owners and the transition for them. So welcome, Eva.
Good morning.
Elizabeth.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have a lot of my clients on your products, and I am on your products, and so are my friends. And love Modern Primitive. I love it. And the first time I ever listened to you talk about your product, that was it. I was completely like, oh, okay, yep, this is what I'm gonna do. I want the homemade stuff. So if you'll talk a little bit about how you got started and interested in CBD,
Okay.
and how your business got kicked off, that would be really great.
Okay. Well, I was working, then due to a reduction in force, I lost my job. And I decided at that time, Eva was still working, and we both had corporate jobs. And I decided that I did not want to go back to work for someone else. I really wanted to go into business for myself. And I had already had an idea that there's this, idea out there right now that's very popular and growing in popularity, is to grow your own farm, grow your own produce, grow your own organic foods. And so incorporating that along with another idea that I had for cottage foods. So I looked into the laws and into the rules and what it would take to start a cottage food business, and found that it was something that was right up our alley. We started with pickles, we started with bread, we started fermenting our own produce, and selling it at markets, pop-up markets. So that kind of got us started. Then it was a natural transition from baking for My Cottage Foods and Pharmacy to baking edibles with CBD in it. Right when we were doing the pop-up markets, we were seeing a lot of CBD products out there, but nothing that was a fresh baked good.
So let me make sure I got this straight. So when you started Cottage Foods, Eva was still working, and at the time, had y'all already talked about, like, after you retire, that you will do a business together, and that it would be a baking goods business? And did you know that it was going to be CBD?
Good question. No, we had no idea. We really didn't. It just kind of became this. It just pulled us in. We found that once we started, it just made sense to keep going in this direction. And a couple years later, Eva had an opportunity to retire, and so she did. And at that time, now I'm 2 years into my business, and things are starting to get really busy, and I really needed the help. And so it was very timely for her to retire, and that's when we started doing it together. And that's when it became more of a reality, or more our reality, to be baking and using CBD in our products.
I was saying, when I first got interested in CBD, I shop at HBE, I buy CBD from y'all. But anyway, when I first started getting interested in it, I was like studying it like crazy, and I was beginning to tell my clients about it as I was studying it.
Yeah.
And I started asking about it, and I started finding all the people that do the direct sales and all this stuff. And so when I by accident ran across y'all, I got a referral to y'all, and I was like, well, that's the way I like to do everything.
Right.
Go straight to the source. These people are actually making their CBD in a commercial kitchen, right?
Yes.
Right. So you want to talk a little bit about what you're doing, how you're making your products and what you do.
Yeah, so first we found a farm that is organically growing the legal CBD in the form of that hemp plant right there. And we get it home and we do very minimal processing. We never use chemicals. It's just time and a little bit of heat. And so with time, which is the way it's always been done since the beginning of time, any tribe that you go back in history and look at how they prepared their medicine, it was either, with a pestle and mortar or rock and, so they would grind it down and then they would add some liquid to it and a little heat.
That makes so much sense.
Right, and so that's what we do. The modern primitive, we do it as primitively as possible.
I love that. I love it. Modern primitive. I always liked the name, but now I know, now I have a whole visual to go with it.
Well,
okay.
Going all the way back to caveman days where that was how they
I like that in
medicine.
the jungle. Oh, yeah. I totally love that.
That's right.
Well, a friend of mine way back in the early 90s when I lived in San Francisco called me the modern primitive. And it's always stuck with me. I asked her, well, where did you come up with that? And she said, I just made it up, and it's always stuck with me. So the modern primitive just kind of made sense with what we're doing. It was just a great fit.
That's a great example of how you're almost like your own personal brand superseded you. It was like preparing you for your future.
No coincidences.
Yeah, it's really not.
Everything is leading to some.
When I was studying it, I found full spectrum and I found isolated. I tried the isolated because someone said, oh, the isolated's so great because you don't taste it. Well, I'm like, I kind of like that I taste it.
Right.
And besides, you get used to it anyway.
Right.
It's like it's no big deal.
You get used to it.
And but what you're doing, because you're making your own CBD oil, is beyond full spectrum. Because when I was studying, the fullest that you could get the benefit of CBD was from full spectrum. You're doing what's called
Whole plant.
Yes.
whole plant.
We do a whole plant extract. So in the beginning, we did a lot of research and we found what they call an isolate, and that's where they chemically process the flower down, and all they do is leave the CBD cannabinoid. All the others have been stripped away because of the chemical processing. And in the beginning, we really weren't that educated on what we were processing. We were just looking for recipes online and trying to find that right mixture, what we needed. And at that point, that's all we knew. That's all that we saw on the shelves in stores. If you would look at the CBD products, they were all using, and even today, they still use the CBD isolate. And in doing deeper research, we found that that really wasn't what we wanted to do. We wanted to go organic, like with our foods. Every item that we make is organic. We do our best to provide a quality product organic. And so we wanted to do the same with the CBD. And so in doing further research and getting more knowledge, we found that using the actual flower bud was the best. And there are more cannabinoids available through the actual green flower than with the isolates.
The full and broad spectrums are very similar in the way that they're processed, but it's still processed. And so whole flower means not processed.
Oh.
And so you have a distillate or an isolate. You have full spectrum, broad spectrum, and whole flower. And the best is whole flower.
Which is what y'all do.
Which is what that is.
And are y'all tracking your clients' results?
Most recently, we had someone who at Thanksgiving dinner was visiting with family, and she had back pain, and it was so unbearable. She was able to sit in a chair. She couldn't, maneuver herself into the chair because her back was in so much pain. It was so stiff. She remembered that she had bought our balm and took it and rubbed it into her back, and within 10 minutes she was able to be more mobile. And so she recently sent me a text message about how amazing it was for her. She had forgotten about it, remembered it, used it, and she was just amazed at the results within 10 minutes. So she left it behind for her mother to use, who also has very bad arthritis. And so we are getting testimonies from people who have not slept for 4 or 5 days. And they're just desperate, and they want to know what they can take that's more natural, holistic. They're not looking for a narcotic or even melatonin. Any amount of melatonin that you take is an overdose. We already have enough melatonin in our bodies. And so she was taking several milligrams of melatonin and was worried about that. And so she was looking into CBD, and she's very young, and her mother was concerned about, about the stigma that's, along with the CBD and THC.
Yeah.
And so she met us and decided to try the oil, and we recently got a text message from her.
I started taking your CBD oil hoping to get off of antidepressants. And I had been on antidepressants for, I think, 11 years. I quit my antidepressants. I started taking CBD oil, and I've been able to stay off of the antidepressants, so it's working. But also, what's really cool about it is I had quit dreaming. And I'm the kind of person that for years when I would dream, especially if it was a really like one of those dreams that takes you like this and makes you just go, what was that about? Really, like, what? Not a nightmare because it's too close to reality. I think of nightmares is more like just really weird, but like dreams that, have heavy duty symbology in them. And I knew exactly, I had this really simple way of being able to interpret my dreams so that I could learn and grow from them. And I wasn't dreaming. And I didn't realize it was the antidepressants until just the other day. I was talking about, getting off of my antidepressants, and then I told the person I was talking about, I said, and I started dreaming again, and then I went,
yeah.
The antidepressants were suppressing my dreams for 10 years. I was wondering, why am I not dreaming? And so I'm back to dreaming. And
wonderful.
Yeah.
Glad to hear that.
Isn't that interesting?
It's the CBD. The lady who sent me a text message about her back, she wasn't able to move very well, and then she did the body balm. She was saying, you're a miracle worker, and I wrote her back, no, I'm not. I'm not a miracle worker. It's the CBD.
Yeah,
that's right.
It's the CBD. All I've done is put it together in a way that I think is the healthiest way of doing it. Applying it, drinking it, eating it, etc. And so the miracle is in the CBD. I'm really glad to hear that.
Yeah. And and then when I take CBD and I put it on my, I'm a massage therapist, I should remember what this muscle is. It's the major neck muscle. It's a long word. Anyway, when I use this, which is every day, I don't know why I love it so much. I'm like, why do I love this stuff so much? And it's like, well, it smells good. It smells like heaven is what it smells like. And I like the texture of it, and so it feels good. It's almost like a massage oil in a way because it is based in oil. And but really, like, the relief I get on my neck muscles is amazing, and also right here on the top of my shoulders as well.
Wonderful.
And it's called your sternocleidomastoid.
Oh.
There we go.
Okay.
Now that we've got that figured out.
Okay.
Your trap muscles and your sternocleidomastoid. That is where I put that salve every night. Okay,
So,
go ahead.
the reason that you're feeling you don't know what it is because we've used everything, in within reach to put this together. So it has, the aroma, the aromatic of the what do they call that? The
Smell.
well, yeah, no, it's the aroma, but there's a word for it. The aromatherapy. There you go.
Yes.
Aromatherapy.
Yes.
So we've added lavender, we've added frankincense in this particular one, which is the one that I believe you use. And then we developed a new one that has, in addition to that, we've added arnica and ylang ylang.
Yeah, ylang.
And so because of the additional oil in our second recipe, our phase 2, it makes it glide on better because it's got additional oils in it. And so you're getting the relief, first of all, from the aromatherapy. The second thing that you're getting relief from is the actual topical transdermal application to your
Sternocleidomastoid.
Here we go.
and
These chocolates are beautiful, and they're making me hungry. Matter of fact, I'm about to ask if I can eat one.
yes, yes.
But
And
And
this
so-
is 72% dark chocolate, so it's
Healthy.
also within itself, it is an antioxidant. It is very healthy for you as well.
we use
along with the
organic,
CBD.
and that's all
Yeah,
there is.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah,
the
that's
chocolate and the
great.
CBD. That's all that's in
That's
it.
right.
And so this is a very
no,
wholesome.
it's not sweetened, or is
No.
it
No,
sweetened?
it is
no
not
stevia
sweetened.
in here.
No,
No.
no.
Okay.
It's
It's
just
purely
chocolate.
just chocolate and that flour.
Okay, so I can taste it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna taste it. Oh,
You gotta see.
It's
you gotta
very
go
light.
like that with it.
oh, yeah. Before I eat it,
The
it-
hemp
it-
flour.
Yes,
the
it
hemp
represents
flour.
The hemp flour.
the rest of them are like medallions in here, but I'm gonna eat the one that is actually the hemp flour.
So antioxidants in dark chocolate, the combination couldn't be better.
Wow, that
it-
is delicious.
It's like an
Whoops.
endorphin for your brain.
That is true. Okay, talk about that.
So it gives you some natural
I'm gonna get
endorphins.
that in a
Chocolate
minute,
does that for you. It's got an antioxidant, and then with the CBD that's in it, that particular one has 15 milligrams. You will feel, you know, if you had any sort of stress or anxiety before you ate it, it will start to give you some relief. This is the digestive method. And so once your body starts absorbing it through your digestive system, it'll start working on your stress relief or even a little pain relief.
That chocolate is some of the best chocolate I've ever
Thank
eaten.
you.
And that's also
Thank you.
organic.
It's organic.
Of course.
And it's fair trade.
Fair trade, organic,
Fair trade organic.
good for you
And
dark
vegan.
chocolate.
All right, awesome.
No sugar added.
Very good. Do y'all have any personal stories of using this other than your nightly routine, your ritual?
Well, Eva had cancer a few years ago, and so it kind of prompted us to do some research on what, how she could benefit from our products. And so,
Well, at that point, we really hadn't gotten started on the products. That's been 3 years ago now. And we were looking for holistic resolution of the breast cancer rather than the cutting and pharmaceuticals. Of course, it happened so fast. I will say that we did do the tumor removal, and I didn't have chemotherapy, but I do have, I did go through radiation, and I am on a hormone blocker for 10 years, 7 years now left. But in doing so, we started researching the CBD products, and there are personal research and that's been done. People that have come up with their own combinations of CBD, how many milligrams per milliliter. There is a what do you call it? A ratio that you can take that helps with the type of cancer that I had.
Yes.
And so I do take that every day as well. This we take at night and or in the mornings, and during the midday I'll take the other one. It's, you know, I don't know, I would like to say it's working. I don't know.
Right. But as far as keeping the cancer at bay, or there's certain things that you really are taking it for preventative.
Right.
right.
And that's what I hear you saying.
Yes.
This is about it's about healing, but it's largely at this point, because you did go through with the treatments.
Right.
It's preventative.
Right.
Well, and as a result too, her bone density wasn't coming back very well, and so they kind of started her on something that helped with that. But along with it, in the research that we've done, we found out that this is also helping her bone density.
Oh.
And
Yes.
so
Oh,
we're not going to
okay.
say it's one or the other, or you one over the other. I
Right.
think together, her numbers are great.
Yeah.
They're looking absolutely positive.
This is a pamphlet from Project CBD. And so this is what you're giving out currently. I've got a couple
Yeah,
of
we
them.
hand these out to somebody who has questions about CBD, and we always say, don't take our word for it. Please go to this website and find out what you
And
can.
they go to that website, it becomes a global, what did you
It
call
is a
it?
global repository.
A global repository.
Mhm.
I love that.
Yeah, it has lots of helpful information about dosing, different ways of taking it, like we've discussed here, and also introducing CBD to the general public. I mean, you can go there and you can input in the search mechanism diabetes, and all of these articles from all over the world where people have used CBD and diabetes, you can go there and read them. And it is great information. Different types of cancers you can put in there, blood pressure, what's the eye, glaucoma.
Glaucoma, yes.
You can put all types of subjects, diseases in there, and just find what other people have written, what they've researched. Recently, I was looking for a client that had real bad hiccups,
Oh, yeah.
and
It was a result of his chemotherapy?
it's a result of his chemotherapy.
Ooh.
And he had, I can't remember the name of the hiccup, but he was unable to sleep, he was unable to rest, it was very
very
detrimental.
painful.
And so I did a little bit of research, and there's one article from 1998, and everyone since then still refers back to that article.
Wow.
So that was very substantial, and I told him, I said, it's an old article, go ahead and take a look at it, see what you think, do you want us to help you with that? And it seems to have helped.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things that even though it's an old article, it was applicable to him, and everything within that article was applicable to him, and so it worked out.
And the
Wow.
recommendation in that
Wow.
article was to smoke it.
Oh, okay.
And so to smoke it and inhale deeply so that it got all the way down to his diaphragm.
Wow.
And
Wow.
then and that helped relax his diaphragm so that he was able to get some relief from the hiccups.
Oh, what I'd like to do is I'd like to just take a moment to show your products. You have this beautiful setup. Every time I come over here, you've got something else going on.
We always
And
do
it's-
fresh, and so almost on a daily basis, we do have something to add to the table. The most recent thing that we've done are the peanut butter cups and the macaroons. Cake balls we always have on hand, and these are chocolate truffles. And the ones with the red stars are very spicy. They have all kinds of spices, everything organic. Most of them are vegan. So this is vegan. These are gluten-free and organic, not vegan.
And this is your modern primitive logo right here. I love
Yes.
that.
Yeah, that's
Very
the
beautiful.
tattoo on my back that Eva took a photograph of, and we applied some filters to it, and that is our logo.
Okay, all
And so
right.
it just kind of made sense with the modern primitive.
Yeah, I love it.
It's also a family story in there. And we started making a half-ounce bottle. Instead of just the 30 milliliter, we also have a 15 milliliter. And then here we have our topicals. We're moving from the glass containers to more of a reusable tin container, a screw top. And we package them, and we can make them in just about any strength that you need.
Well, thank you so much for this interview. I've been waiting and waiting to do this interview with y'all because you were traveling and doing your research and buying products in the states that allow it, and you were gone for quite a while, and so it's good to finally get around to this interview.
It's been a pleasure for us too.
Yes.
Thank you, Kelly.
Yes, you're welcome. All right.